Today is Saturday, August 24th. We have a powerful week ahead of us in terms of Black History facts. So if you're thinking about how you can align and manifest with the energy that is happening this week, just know that this is the week of the anniversary of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech during the March on Washington. This is the week that Emmett Till, a 14-year-old Black boy, was brutally murdered in Mississippi. This is the week that President Barack Obama accepted the Democratic Party's nomination. All of that actually happened on the exact same day, Wednesday, August 28th. So thank God we are on the call on Saturday before that Wednesday so we can harness that power and harness the energy. My name is Vanessa. I'm the co-founder of GirlTREK. I'm walking in DC, and I'm joined on the line by Morgan, the co-founder of GirlTREK, who's walking somewhere, I believe.
Who? Oh, I got a long story for this morning already, y'all. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Black August and all of the ancestors.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here.
Good morning. I'm happy you're here, Morgan. Some people rush to the call and hurry up and put their earpods in and grab their speakers and got out the door. That was me like 2 minutes ago. I was like, Lord, in 30 minutes, can I shower, brush my teeth, put up some teeth, get my earpods, get out the house. Some people might be in their car driving, listening to this because you just left a walk. Maybe you are observing Sisterhood Saturday and you walked with a crew because we are 1 million Black women all over the world walking and talking together. Maybe you already got your walk in because it's Superhero Saturday and you like to get up early like that 4 dark 30 crew or the 5 dark 30 crew or the people who's beginning up at 6 and 7 a.m. But you're still tapping in because you understand that we are in solidarity together and that there is power in the communion and fellowship of what we are doing. Over the next 9 weeks, we are walking and talking about the most important things that impact Black women's life expectancy. We are doing this intentionally in a consequential election year and also in a space where GirlTREK is getting ready to unveil and unleash a new mission to increase life expectancy. So thank you to every single woman who's come on the call. How you doing, Morgan?
I am activating a half smile, which is a way to remind all of us that peace and joy is just one breath and one smile away, and that's the kind of week I've had. So I'm doing I am doing my best, and my best is good enough. So thank you for asking. And I'm excited about this liberation line. I'm excited about these 10 weeks. And I'm actually excited that I'm walking in my front yard for some reason. I got my times mixed up.
Because it's fancy as hell. Because it's fancy as hell to be able to walk in your front yard. And it's a blessing. I mean, look, if all we could do, Black women, is just walk in our front yards, just like let that morning dew hit our feet, just like stretch out our spines a little bit, like before we got to like hit the responsibilities, hit the obligations, like to have that level of spaciousness. That is what these walks are also about. You might be walking barefoot on the sand right now, or who knows, wherever it is, it's like the process of intentionality and the act of actually moving your body that matters most.
Thank you for that support. Yeah, and this week in particular, it's important to walk my land and to make sure that I am feeling safe in my home and like making sure that I'm, like our communities are just under attack. And like, y'all, without getting into too much detail, I'm just saying sometimes you got to cover your home, sometimes you got to cover your yard, sometimes you got to cover your block, sometimes you got to cover your neighborhood and your cities, y'all. And all of us need to be covering our nation right now as we are walking and praying and kissing the earth with our feet and lifting our hearts up to the sky. Like, we are doing work that is essential. We are like the essential front line of a spiritual revolution that we know is happening. It has been such an exciting couple of weeks to be an American so that we can figure out and define who we are going to be. And I'm telling you, Black women have always been on the front lines of those defining moments. This was the week also, the DNC where Fannie Lou Hamer came in for the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party with her purse and defined who she was going to be. Authentic, brave, a timbre in her voice that was the Holy Ghost anointed. And she shook the very foundation of this country by organizing and registering 60,000 voters in Mississippi and creating her own party that brought that to the table. And the sitting president had to interrupt her with a special broadcast. He didn't even know what he was talking about, but she was too powerful. So imagine 1 million Black women walking, praying, living in our authentic selves with high vibrations and a little half smile just to let you know. That's what I'm saying, Vanessa. That's how I feel this morning. I really do. So, so thank you for asking. I'm excited about the topic today. Do you want to introduce that? What do you want to start
let me
with
tell people what we're
meditation?
going to do. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We walk for 30 minutes intentionally because 30 minutes will transform your life. And if you do it 5 days a week, we call that a warrior week in GirlTREK. And so we start on Saturdays as a way to kind of galvanize women for the rest of the week and ground us in what we need to do. We might go over a little bit over on these calls because it is both a conversation between two co-founders around what is happening in the world and two friends. We are then going to do a short grounding meditation. We are going to talk about what we are in solidarity for today by bringing in a dope Black woman who I've had the pleasure to get to know a little bit named Fox Rich. And we're going to stand in solidarity with all of the women who are incarcerated or have incarcerated loved ones. We are a large community and constituency. And then we are going to open up the lines. It's *9 right now. If you already want to raise your hand, maybe you have been impacted by incarceration. Maybe you have a loved one who is incarcerated. Maybe your story and testimony has nothing to do with today's solidarity topic, but there is something burning inside of you. You disrupted the status quo this week. You have a testimony, something you overcame. You witnessed liberation in action. It's a learning strategy session with Black women on the line. So we're getting ready to do that in just a few minutes while we walk. And people are like, y'all could do all that. We're like, we could do all that and more. This is a beautiful format. So yeah, let's ground down Morgan. Then we're going to bring Fox in. Then we're going to open up the line.
Oh, I love that. I will make this short because I am already feeling the energy on the line and the grounding. And I also, maybe we need some breath after the conversation. This is
right.
a kind of conversation that makes us tighten our chest when we feel trapped, when we think about our sisters and our brothers, our husbands, our wives, all of the people who we love, our family members who are in prison cells, who are trapped physically in institutions that were designed to literally keep our people enslaved. I mean, it is a documented extension of slavery. If you have not been to Bryan Stevens Museum down in Montgomery, that has to be a trip that you take with your family. That has to be a trip, but you got to be ready to see the faces of our people in slavery and then going into chain gangs and then going into mass incarceration. It is not an accident. It is not an accident. And while we understand that crime exists, we understand that there are people with criminal hearts and criminal minds. We also understand the systems that have locked people away for everything from an ounce of weed to a misunderstanding. And we understand that we are under deep surveillance and that all of our actions have been like surveilled for generations, and it has led to fear that has been trapped in our hearts. And so today's meditation is about breathing in freedom. And so as you are walking, I want you to just notice your feet touching the ground. I don't want you to walk any different. I don't want you to walk any slower. I don't want you to walk any faster. I don't want you to pump your arms. I just want you to notice the four corners of each of your feet touching the ground. You have always been supported. You have been supported by a universe holding you together. And every step you take is supported by a mother, an earth, a loving, loving earth. And as you appreciate that energy and that bounce back and that support and that resilience, I want you to just notice, are you breathing, sister? Are you breathing, sister? Some of us are walking in our neighborhoods, and some of us are listening to this in prison cells. Sister, are you breathing? What is the texture of that breath? Is that breath deep? Is it light? Don't change it. It's your breath. Just notice it. Just appreciate it. It's keeping you alive. There is no wrong breath. We thank God for breath. Is it moist? Is it dry? Is it thin? Is it filling up your whole throat and your chest and your belly? Where does your breath go? Does it go to the bottom of your throat? Does it go to your heart? Does it fill your lungs? Does it go into your belly? When you inhale, does your breath fill your belly? Continue to breathe and notice the texture, the sound of your breath. On your next breath, I want you to feel new. Last week we cleared our throat chakras. Don't be afraid to say ha. Inhale new energy. Whatever has been imprisoning you, fear, shame, inhale new energy. Chest. Yum, your chest. That is the sound of your chest chakra. Energy. This last breath, I want you to inhale down into your belly. New energy. As we breathe on this call, every exhale that you notice, I want you to send it to someone who feels trapped, someone who feels tight, someone in your family who you know is in a prison of her mind, someone in your community who you know is a prison in her relationship, and anybody who you know who is incarcerated, physically cannot walk like you are walking. I want you to look to the sky for her. I want you to look at the trees for her. I want you to look at your feet and walk for her today. Sisters, you are not alone. We are walking in solidarity with you. 1 million Black women are walking in solidarity with you. And today we learn your plight. Thank you so much.
I'm just saying, thank you for that, Morgan. And if something moved inside of you, y'all, when you were breathing, if somebody in your family's name came to your heart and spirit, and maybe all you want to do is just call their name out on this call, *9, so that you can bring your voice to the conversation. We're going to bring on now, because Morgan and I are like, we are not the experts on all the subjects, y'all. We just the experts on just like how we get up every day and put one foot in front of the other. But when we are trying to learn about the issues that matter most to us, the great thing is that we have a crew of experts all over the country who are living and breathing this work. And down in New Orleans, their peers know them as Fox and Rob, but Sybil Fox and her husband, Robert Richardson, are a popular New Orleans couple who have endured and survived 21 years as an incarcerated family. You may have heard their story in the Oscar-nominated documentary Time. It is a beautiful telling where Fox herself documented that after she got out of prison in 2002, the work that she did to get her husband out of Angola prison, one of the most notorious prisons in the country. He was eventually granted clemency, I believe, by the governor in 2018. And now Fox is continuing that work. The work is about bringing families together. It is about breaking down the systems. It's about something that is almost hard to put your finger on when you meet somebody and you see in their face and you see in their story like generations of things happening. That's what happened when I met Fox. And so I'm so grateful for her. She's on, well, let's bring her in right now. Onto this conversation and call.
Peace and love, family. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Fox. How are you?
Purpose running over. I tell you, just you have spoken in my spirit. And Morgan, girl, that meditation. Come on with it. Come on with it.
Fox, I watched your documentary last night, and your perm, come on with it. Your flat iron, your Dominican. I was like, and I noticed it before you started talking about it. I was like, she went to the Dominicans. I see it. So thank you so much for joining us today. I cannot wait to hear your story. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of who you are, your family, your children.
Thank you so much. We are here in Chicago this morning. We just finished moving our baby boy, the youngest of 6 boys, into his dorm room at the School of Art Institute of Chicago, where he has gotten a merit scholarship in photography and journalism.
Oh my goodness. It's a beautiful testimony. Shout out to him. Shout out to all the moms in our community who I know are dropping their kids off at school right now and having that experience.
Mothers make the difference. Black women, when we show up, we make the difference. And so I'm just honored that you all are giving us space this morning for this very important conversation, especially in light of how you set the table and talk about, all of the things that have happened this week throughout history. And then even what has just happened, how we have made history just yesterday with Kamala Harris receiving the presidential nomination for the Democratic Party. And so I know that our power as Black women continues to move. And I just want to thank Vanessa, you and Morgan for what you all have put into action in our universe with getting Black women moving. I know for myself, when I move, when my spirit is burning inside, no matter where I am, I have to get up and walk. And so to see what you all are doing with GirlTREK, to get our Black women, 1 million of them, walking, moving across this planet, it can't help but generate more power and elevate our frequency. So thank you for how you're showing up in our world.
Thank you so much, Fox. I wonder if you could, as a way to introduce people to your story, we only have a few minutes, but we want to learn something new. And Morgan and I were talking and we were like, what is the statistic? What is the piece of information, the tidbit? Like for you, when you go to tell your story, or for you in this whole they're almost 30 plus year, it feels like, journey now for you and the work that you've done, like what is one statistic that really stands out for you around kind of the system, incarceration, that you really feel like we need to know?
I would probably have to start out by saying it's not even a statistic as much as it is a knowing at this point in my life. What I know at this point after 30 years of being justice involved is that our people cannot afford to enter into the system. Our family thought that because we were failing, it gave us a reason or an excuse to make a decision that would ultimately subject us back into slavery. And having done so, I understand that our people went through so much to get free, and then of our own volition, because of the choice that we made, my husband and I subjected our entire family back to subjugation. And so probably as Black women, when we know that 75% of our households are headed by us, then it is incumbent upon us to ensure that we are speaking those things that keep our families out of these systems by any means necessary, because we know that, this system ain't fair. It's not designed to be fair. It is designed to incarcerate our people. And probably, as we in Louisiana, Rob and I, with the work that we do, taking your listeners back, we are Fox and Rob. I am Fox Rich, and we endured 21 years as an incarcerated family. And during that time, we had to learn how to navigate the criminal justice system. And in navigating the criminal justice system, we bear witness to the fact that it is intentional about locking up our families. And so our takeaway from that, after getting free ourselves through clemency in 2018, was that to be free is to free others. So we started an organization in 2019. It's called Participatory Defense, the Rich Family Ministries, and our initiative is Participatory Defense, where we teach justice-involved families legal awareness as a best form of defense. We are one hub Morgan and Vanessa, of 40 hubs across this country doing the work of this model that was founded by a gentleman by the name of Raj and Riri, a couple in Silicon Valley who run an organization called Silicon Valley Debug. But we work with families. We judge our success by how much time we save a family from incarceration versus how much time they spend or serve in incarceration. And to date, as of 2024, nationally, our organizations working together collectively have saved 25,000 years of time behind bars. And so, one, I would say we cannot afford to enter the system. Two, if we do enter the system and find ourselves there, then we got to understand that when we fight it, we can win. And that is three, what this model participatory defense is doing all across the nation, fighting and winning.
Wow. Thank you for sharing it, and thank you for sharing it in the exact way that you did, because one, how we keep ourselves out of the system is a whole conversation that I don't even think we always have, and the choices that we make. And then two, legally, I think we become so exhausted and so depleted, and our communities and tribes are so exhausted and depleted that when we have to try to rally for one of our loved ones, we don't even know where to look for the resources.
Yes, yes. And for us, it's about not talking about problems. We know what our problem is. Our problem is that slavery is an ingrained institution in our country. We know what the problems are. What we have to do as women of wisdom, women that have been calling for this moment in time, is that we have to be about the solutions. It is a solution for every challenge that we are facing on this planet in this season. And that's participatory defense is just one of the many solutions that exist to give people the tools that they need to even begin to address the system or gain the confidence to know that, maybe your loved one did make a mistake, but we are still, and we will be more than the worst thing we've done.
Can I say I love that? I love what you just said, that prisons are never the solution. Right. Prisons are never the solution. So as you are going, this is a march to the polls, to the historic election that we're coming. As you are deciding on who you are going to vote for, and that is your decision. That is not for us to tell you who to vote for. You better look at the issues. And prison is never the solution, is what we just heard here. And solution to what, you might ask? I mean, it's, Fox, it's interesting. When I was thinking about this, I felt so prepared for this call. I know that, and Vanessa has her own story with prisons, but I was like, I'm not no authority on this. I don't know how. I don't even really know nobody in prison. Then I was like, your brother be in prison all the time. I can be in and out of jail all the time. And the first love of your life was for 12 years. What are you talking about? And I had to check myself because it's so normalized. It's so normal that you think that somebody who has addiction issues, they're going to go to jail. Or somebody who, is battling deep poverty is going to, all these kinds of things are so normal that I think about prison as being the solution. I'm just going to say it. I think like my family felt relieved when my brother was in jail. Felt relieved that he wasn't going to get murdered on the streets. You understand what I mean? And I'm here to tell you that mental health support is the solution, not prison. Drug addiction support is the answer, not prison. Do you understand what I mean? And so, like, a love and relationship and abuse and counseling is not prison. Prison is never the solution. And so I'm so grateful for you framing it that way, because one of my deepest hopes, dreams, and daily prayers is that we can equip, empower, support, get out of the way so that Black women can provide solutions door to door as we are walking, knocking on our doors saying, are you okay? Do you need help before the police come? So thank you for saying that. Thank you for framing it in that way.
Fox, I have a last question for you. When I saw you in New Orleans, it was just not that long ago. You told me, first of all, it's you and your husband are just magnetic together. And you told me that there are a lot of people who now are just only trying to interview you. Like they kind of erase him from the story. And it's something about like Black love or Black families or the narrative of what feels comfortable for people versus who we really are. as a community and the truths about us. And I wonder, what is your advice to the million Black women who are out there who might be separated, and of these million Black women, some of them might be separated from their love. Their families might be apart. Maybe their child is incarcerated. Maybe it's their partner. Maybe it's how did you keep your family together through all those years of separation? How did you keep your marriage together through all those years of separation? What are you guys doing on a daily basis now that you're there in Chicago? You texted me the picture. Y'all look so beautiful, like that you're there in Chicago with your family, putting your baby boy in his dorm room. How did you keep that love together?
I think I began to understand that the institution of family is bigger than any one member, but it is so powerful when it is together. We have lost the regard for the power, the sheer power in numbers, and that's what families represent. Families moving in one accordance, in one direction, on one vibration with one another is such a powerful force. I understood that we were stronger together than we could ever be apart, even when we were divided by prison walls. Nothing is more powerful than love. Love is the most divine chemical in the universe, and it dissolves everything that is not of itself. So when we lead with love, we have everything that we need to make it in this life. And so for me, it was about saying that this family institution was something that could carry us through everything else. And I'm telling you, it was the greatest investment I ever made. In 21 years of prison, I don't have no money put up in the IRA. My husband and I, we don't have no retirement plan. And the life insurance policies we just got after he got home from prison. But what we did understand is that the most valuable resource we had, it was one another. It was our children, and you can't put a price tag on that. And one of the things that I have seen in our community is that we are allowing material goods to separate us, and thinking that because we got two nickels to rub together, that we don't need each other. We need each other today more than we needed each other during slavery, because we're just as captives as a people, because we don't have any resources. And so I just would challenge the women on this call to hold on to our families. They are our greatest asset along our journey, even though people would have us believe that they are our greatest deficit. And I refuse to believe that, Vanessa and Morgan, even when someone as close as my mother was trying to tell me, won't you just let that go? I understood that we were stronger together, and what God had put together, we couldn't let anything, not even our own poor decision making, put asunder. And because of that, when we stick together, when we hang in there with each other, when we continue to believe that love is possible, despite if love was possible for us during slavery, how in the world can love not be possible for us now? And so I would look back to my ancestors, and if they could make it through, if they could hold unions together when it was even illegal for us to be married, then how in the world could we not consider being in union with one another today? And so that is what kept us together for me, is believing that what we were doing was bigger. The demonstration of this love through adversity was so much bigger than just Rob and I. And I hope that the listeners, that the other women on this call will take time out, watch Time. If you have not had a chance, it's on Amazon Prime Video. If you're not into movies, maybe you want to pick up the book. It is through Baker Publishing, a Christian publishing company, and it's also available on audio as well, everywhere audio books are sold. And if that doesn't work for you, then I would ask that you stay tuned as we have Time to Unfinished Business, the sequel to our Oscar-nominated documentary, to share what happened after my husband got home. What did life look like for us? What are we still struggling with? What have we been able to do with freedom, Vanessa and Morgan? That's what I want to share with our sisters. What did we do with freedom after we got it? And I'm going to stop running. I hope I answered your question, Tad. You got me so excited. I love you. I heard about GirlTREK, and then I came to see you all when you spoke at Tulane University, and my prayer was to be able to connect with you all. Now for me is a full circle moment, because you all have inspired me. I thank you for your work, for your heart, for your hands, and for your spirit when it comes to Black women.
Thank
Oh,
you
Fox,
back.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all. Yeah, you gonna
Y'all
make
better
me
know where
cry.
your joy comes from. You better know where your joy comes from. I had to come in the house. My phone done dropped. I done come home, but I came right back in time. Y'all better know where the joy comes from. Get the money out, dispute out the way, figure out how to set in the place where you can experience. Oh my God, I love it. For all of you who don't understand the scale of what we are talking about, overrepresented in prisons. That means that, there's 13% of people in Black women in America. The population of Americans that are Black women are 13%. The population in prisons that are Black women is 30%. We are overrepresented in the prisons as Black women. And we have a sister on our team, Yolanda Williams, who is working to organize the women in prison to walk for their own liberation. And I'm so inspired by her story, her truth, and how she talks about her time incarcerated and her time justice involved, and the impact on her life and the sheer resilience that made her keep her mind together and her body together and come out and be a freedom fighter. And if you want to work with Yolanda, if you have ideas for what GirlTREK can do, if you yourself are formerly incarcerated and you want to organize alongside with her, her email address is liberation@girltrek.org, liberation@girltrek.org. She looks forward to hearing from you. So Vanessa, I'm so grateful for this. Pay attention in the election. Where do people stand on these issues that impact our families, our lives, and our communities, and our hearts? In our hearts. So let's vote our issues.
Thank you so much, Fox. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for pouring that word into so many women. It's not just the women who are walking live with us, but we will share this recording in next Friday's email so that it reverberates loud and the message reaches so many. And I can't wait to connect and follow back up with you.
Likewise, I love you both. Godspeed.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love you too, sis. You're officially a part of our crew. We gonna call you back. You're like, how you doing?
Right.
Thank you. Vanessa, do you want to open the line? Oh, sorry, Fox. Go ahead.
No, I just said I want to connect with Yolanda. Rob put on marathons in the men's prison, and being able to walk and run inside a prison is how I maintained my sanity when I was in there. So definitely look forward to seeing how I can lend my hands and hearts to that mission.
Oh, brilliant! Done. Let's do some events for women's prisons, some walk runs, that's done. Let's do it. Yolanda already over there clapping. It's slow because she'd be hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay.
Oh,
well, I love you,
Morgan. Let's thank you, Fox. And yes, Morgan, I do think we should open up the lines. Look, we're a little bit over, but it feels so good on a Saturday to walk and talk with people. I'm just letting y'all know. I just saw.
It was raining on my head while we was talking. I was like, "Thank you, God, for this blessing, for this new day, for this fresh anointing." It was raining on my head.
Good. It feels good. Tyree said we got to call her. Hold on, before you speak, call her to say Myleek. I can't remember what business she does, but like maybe she does I can't think, but she's very popular. Myleek on Instagram. She put on her Instagram, she was like, a 5.5 mile walk in the middle of the day is luxury and privilege. And I was like, it is, and it feels good. And it's just like, that's like, we be getting in these 30 minutes, but y'all, if you could walk an hour, walk an hour. If you can walk more, like, because it is a privilege and a luxury to be able to like saunter, to be able to meander, to be able to get lost. And if you have the time and the freedom and the physical ability, like, don't take it for granted.
First of all, I got a coach. I called you yesterday because I had a good old session. It's better than therapy. I was just like, and I was telling her that yesterday. She was like, well, what are your leadership goals, Morgan? And I was telling her all my leadership goals. And at the end, I was like, and I really do want to keep myself in the best shape of my life and get there, like physically, mentally, whatever. And I said, because I've been sauntering. This is what I told her. I've just been sauntering down the street, just relaxed. And I was like, see, sometimes I need to do cardio too. She was laughing so hard. I was like, I might have swung to the other end for my mental health to just be chilling, walking in nature, enjoying myself. But I don't think so. That's what I need. All right. So we have a caller.
Hey, sis, what's your name? Where are you walking at or calling from? Good morning.
Hello?
Hi there. We can hear you.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I thought I might be talking with someone else. This is my second call. I just looked up on my phone to see how long I have been pursuing GirlTREK and how long GirlTREK has been pursuing me. And I have an email from you all from June 2020.
That's right.
I just, I'm very inspired by this as I was last week. And one of the things I love is that this meeting is, I have to admit it, I'm a very academic person without being in academia, but I spent much of my life in school. And in that world, this meeting, among other things, would be called interdisciplinary. That means, you're talking about more than one subject. You're talking about science, but you're also talking about, literature or something. Well, again, I'm a nerd. I majored in history, and I thought, wow, people are talking about history. This is, an organization, a public health organization, an organization for Black women. I'm taking notes. I literally have notes taken down of quotations. I'm so glad to connect with you. And I have to say, I'm 77 years old. I have problems with the tech. So one of the reasons I haven't been in touch that I just cannot figure out how do I connect with people, in my area. I've tried and tried.
What's your name, sis? You didn't tell us your name at the beginning.
My name is Beverly Smith.
Beverly, look, that's why we got this phone number, because we was just like, you know what? Some people are very tech savvy. Some people gonna get on the platform. Some people gonna download the app. Some people, but at the end of the day, old school, we do know how to call each other on the phone. And even if somebody got a three-way you in, we promise that we will keep this type of lines and this type of communication open, so that in the most easy touch, low tech way, we can be connecting, so that even if you don't have somebody in your own community you're walking with, you can be walking with Morgan and I and walking with the other women. And then I will say to everybody out there, if you never even record anything, and I know the data and the research people are like, don't say this, but you still a member, you're still out there. We will figure out, the onus will be on us to figure out how do we capture it. But I just want to let you know you are successful to show up, to be in the movement, to take your walks, and the whole point is to tell another friend, tell somebody in your own life, to get onto the group chat, knock on your neighbor's door and let them know that this is happening and to start walking. So I appreciate you for pushing past the tech issues to be on and in community with us on this Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That reminds me, Vanessa, back in the day, we used to say, take a walk, join the movement. That's all you need to do. Take a walk, join the movement. What a beautiful call.
It is. Let's take one more. Somebody call us, tell us what's going on. You got a testimony? You got something to say after Fox told us the family is the institution? Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you walking or calling from?
Letitia Dukes from Kent, Ohio. And I just can't even believe, I met you guys years ago in California when you guys did a talk at a conference I was at. But I just wanted to tell you that it was, I think, 2017, maybe. I have been going through so many traumas in my life. I work at Kent State University, and I work with students, love them, mother them. And I went on a trip with students for Black maternal health in DC, chaperoning. When we got back, there were some white students on the trip. One of the students that was white, male, said that I sexually harassed him. So from April until August 18th, I have been going through this situation, having to defend my character, having to defend myself against something that never happened, having to prove my innocence twice, being tried like I was guilty. But God said, you are free. I got the message the other day that said the findings were null and void and that I didn't do anything wrong. I knew I didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that I'm a Black woman and a PWI, And you have to defend yourself in this world, knowing that you're not guilty, but being tried and looked at as you are. These calls have been my saving grace. And I just appreciate you all that are on this call. And I want to say, Morgan and Vanessa, thank you. And to all the women out there, we are tried. We are not defeated. Continue to walk, continue to pray for your communities and your families, and do the same for me.
Thank you so much for calling in. I'm kind of at a loss for words because I'm like, what do you say to this woman? Because how do you even reclaim the time that you lost? How do you even repair the trauma? How do you put your hand over the wound? So I know it's going to be a process for you, sister. And I just want to let you know to keep walking, to keep moving forward, to keep trusting that whatever it was, the lesson that came through that there must have to be some other reason on the other side that you can testify to another woman. And it might just be this moment right here, right now, because it touched me and moved me in a way that I know some other woman heard your testimony. And so I just want to thank you for just coming on this line and being brave enough to unmute yourself and contribute to this walk and talk in this way.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
I almost screamed when I just heard there's something inside me that wanted to scream when I heard you. Sorry, I got to go outside because the energy is so big on this call. Sorry, that's good. I was walking, it was raining, I came inside. Listen, it's real. But I'm telling you, sister, I almost screamed when you were talking, because there's something about being falsely accused. Every single this phone under our bones or Black women being falsely accused is the reason we closed our hearts, related our minds, protected our bodies, built an armor up. People think this is about obesity. This ain't about obesity. This is about arming ourselves against the violence of the world that would say we are who we are. We know we are not. That we are angry when we know we are not. That we are predators when we know we are not. Half of us are victims ourselves. Do you understand what I mean? And all of these, and again, I am going to.
Morgan, you drop.
And some people make bad choices and need the space and grace to recover from those bad choices. And I'm saying for you, sister, I believe you. I believe you, and I stand with you, and I know what it feels like to be misunderstood. And I know what it feels like to be falsely accused, even if it's in your intentions, even if it's in you. And so there was something about that made me just want to scream on your behalf, because I just think about my mother being falsely accused, my grandmother being falsely accused, my great-grandmother of stealing, of doing this, of flirting with men, whatever it is. And we walk through life just screaming like, I am doing my best. That is not my intention. Like, I just was so moved by your story, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I think we might need to close on a note that is really breathing again. For every woman out there who
Morgan. Keep breathing, y'all, even as she's breaking up. That is God giving us the silence and the space to breathe, to unclench, to take your tongue off the roof of your mouth, to put your shoulders down away from your ears, to search and locate the breath inside of your body. Did it get trapped? Is it in your diaphragm? Can you pull it up from below, from your base, from your root? Can you draw it to your stomach, the breath? Can you fill your lungs with it? Can you let the freedom be the sense of the air touching your skin? Can you let freedom be the space in your mind to believe again? Can you let the freedom be the ability to let go of the fear and the doubt and the worry, and most importantly, the anger, even justified, the bitterness, even justified, the resentment, even justified? Can you just let it go?
I love that, Vanessa. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I dropped. The only thing I would add to what you just said, which was so beautiful, is he gave an affirmation that I just saved because I was like, this is going to come in handy. He said, I'm safe to live and love with a heart wide open. I am safe to live and love with a heart wide open. If you're on this line, say it out loud with me. Repeat after me. I am safe to live and love with a heart wide open. Yes. And that is the consequence of fear, of judgment, of attack, of surveillance, is that we don't feel safe to live and love with a heart wide open. But that is the biggest crime. So sisters out there, I just want you to know that you are safe to live and love with a heart wide open. Do not shut down. Not now. Do not shut down. Do not shut down. Open it wide open. So I am grateful for this call, Vanessa. I am grateful for you, all the people on this line. Tyrene is back. Thank you for your love and your production. Thank you to the whole GirlTREK team, and every single woman out there walking is a successful member of GirlTREK. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Next week, next
shout out
Saturday,
to the cousins.
Shout
out to the cousins who came on the line. I just want to say, if you got your cousins on the line, shout out. I said we was going to do something special for the woman who brought the most cousins, but next Saturday, that's why it's a trick. Come back. Next Saturday, we're going to do something special. That's it. Keep bringing your cousins back, y'all. No, we're going to bring the woman who brings the most cousins to these calls with us as our special guest to Atlanta in some sort of way. We working on it, y'all. So keep bringing your cousins to the
that's
call.
A good idea. I didn't bring my cousin to the call. You got your cousin on the call.
I hope they listen to that. I wrote the email. I put all my business out there. I hope some of the cousins is on the call. Like, yeah, no, we got to get some better instructions and what we got to say to our cousins.
This is the thing. We're gonna do a U-turn. We're gonna do a do-over. I promise you, I'm gonna try to get one of my cousins on the line next Saturday, Vanessa. You gotta.
Yes, word is bond, y'all. Word is bond.
Yes. I need y'all all to do the same thing because we're gonna grow this movement. Thanks, y'all. I'll talk to you all soon.